Georgia versus Texas in Athens for the third rendition of what was super hyped up trilogy. But for Texas, it was no Return of the King. In fact, it was more like that Godfather 3 flop, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm Keegan, my co-host is Cheeto, and we are back to celebrate and break down what was a fantastic, epic, historic victory.
Sunday scary show, you don't want to miss it. Talking about sports, talking about ball, talking about the weekend, well how about the dogs? Pull out your brunch now, boy.
Keegan, a popular phrase around here, especially after a big win, is dogs on top. But that phrase cannot sum up where Georgia fans have to be right now. All week, coming into this game, maybe not with some doubts, but, you know, the Texas fans love to remind us about how good their program is, even though they haven't been the team that we're accustomed to seeing. But to come out with a 35-10 win with a dominant fourth quarter, feeling good, got some recruits in Athens, got some recruits committing to the G. You couldn't have asked for a better weekend, especially solidifying your place in the college football playoff in one of those 12 slots. Great win by the Dogs. Can't wait to hear your reaction.
Yeah, I really thought Georgia showed out well. I'm showing out well with my, this isn't quite Bevo, but this is the closest thing I got. It says eat local, if you guys can see it on the video rendition here. But it was a fantastic win. I thought it was complimentary football, complimentary coaching, and you don't win 35-10 unless you put a cohesive plan together. Texas had our number at times in the first part of the game. We were able to bend, not break in that first drive. Texas was doing a lot of good things, especially running the ball. There were times where Georgia, after we got our lead, we really played with our food for a while there and were a little bit too conservative, but we came out of that and it was fantastic. Gino, what did you think about how the coaches handled the game and just how we showed up to play?
I thought Kirby and company on the defense and Mike Bobo in this offense were absolutely excellent. We talked a lot going into the game about how Texas's secondary was suspect and how they were struggling all year. Bobo hit them with eye candy all night, and it felt like they bit on every single fake, went with every single motion that was there, and just could not put it together. Georgia, we talked about going into it, was going to have trouble running against Texas in this leading SEC run defense. But I felt like we were running the ball at such a high clip that even their best day was going to maybe pop for 120 yards, and that would be enough to win. And sure enough, we rushed for 128. Texas, on the other hand, cannot run the ball. I don't know what it is. I felt like on their first drive of the game that they tried to get it going, but they completely abandoned it by then. Finished the night with under 30 rushing yards. And listen, this is the SEC now. This is not the old conference that you're used to winning or wherever you've had success before. If you can't run the ball for more than 30 yards, you're never going to win. And Texas fans are upset, want to blame the refs. But there is not a corrupt ref in the world that can get you a win if you can't manage more than 30 yards. And that's just how it's going to be. So the coaching was excellent. The onside kick really put the game away because Texas was starting to get momentum in the third. You steal possession, you score again, and that's how you win that's how you score 21 in the fourth quarter to ice the game. Great calls all around by the coaches.
Yeah, that first drive, Texas came out controlling the clock, showing the power, showing the physicality, and I actually said in my brain, I was like, this is a good recipe to match Georgia right here. Like, they're coming out, running the ball quite well, and if they're going into this clock management thing with that defense, I was a little bit worried. But, hey, I'm glad they went away from the run. I don't think they should have, but in the last times that Arch Manning has been on the field, in the last times that Georgia has played Texas, we have had this amazing pass rush. Now, we've had elite pass rushers. Last year, we had a couple of guys go to the NFL, but it's definitely been the story that we've dropped off a little bit in the pass rush. But when it comes to these big games, we've stepped up, put it together, and the players have executed. Cheeto, what do you think of that and just our ability to annoyingly not have a pass rush a lot of the times, but then sometimes when we need it in these bigger games, we can just put it together?
Yeah, so for those who may not be familiar, at UGA, you're not really allowed to walk under the arches until you graduate. But from what I saw, we had underclassmen walking all over, around, and through Arch Manning. I have some buddies who I'll talk with through the game. And I was telling them, we have the deepest linebacker room in the country. Saw a couple of Texas accounts kind of mocking, who's Zayden Walker? I've never heard of him. Well, buddy, you heard of him now. Like, this guy is going to be a premier linebacker. The only reason he's not playing now is because of the NFL talent in front of him. You know, talking about C.J. Allen, I hear that we got lucky. I don't think his injury is too serious. But think about the drop-off most teams would have when you lose a C.J. Allen. We bring in, I thought it was going to be Williams to come in, but they brought in Chris Cole and then just slid over Raylan Wilson to his spot. And the defense did pretty well. Texas found some success, tried to run some screens early, but we did a really good job. And I told my buddy I was going to put this on the podcast, but I had to mention it because he listened to the preview this week and he was like, man, I really thought that you were glazing Georgia this week. Just really kind of doing too much. Like, Georgia's not that good. The offense has been great, but, and he's an avid Georgia fan. He knows ball, right? I got an apology first thing Sunday morning because I like to just call things how I see it. Like, this offense was humming. Texas has deficiencies, which Georgia likes to exploit, especially in these big-time games. And everything came to fruition. I picked the score of 27-17. Georgia won 35-10. Now, I couldn't have foreseen that fourth quarter, but Georgia did what Georgia has been doing, and Texas did what Texas has been doing, and it showed up on a big game day. So no glazing over here. I see ball, talk ball, and try to do my best to just keep it a bean. I know this is my team, but I try to keep my bias at bay.
Yeah, and of course we're going to be biased, but we just want things to add up and make sense. If the dots don't connect in my brain, then I'm going to bring it up and just, I'd love to hear what people have to say also. Georgia's offense has been clicking, and even though I thought we played even better against this Texas defense that is really solid, and Gunner having 5 touchdowns speaks to that. I mean, Gunner Stockton should definitely be in the Heisman consideration. If this is a quarterback award and the top guy, according to many, is Julian Sayin, and I won't disparage the young man, but I think the competition that Gunner is facing right now is head and shoulders better, right? And if we're seeing these type of performances from Gunner Stockton, why not have him in that conversation? It's a quarterback award. And honestly, if I'm looking at all of college football, they make me the commissioner. I can't be Georgia biased. Maybe I got Gunner top 3, but I might actually have a defender having a breakout season. That linebacker at Texas Tech, that dude is making that Jordan Davis type push, but he's probably more elite at his position than even Jordan Davis was. So I think the Heisman trophy is a little bit messed up in just how it is a quarterback award, but since it is, give it to Gunner.
Yeah, let me follow that up because I made a comment that I didn't think that Gunner would get the type of recognition necessary to get to New York, but after a performance like this on a big stage like this, he has to be. I don't personally care if he wins it or not. I'm more about the titles, SEC or national championships, but he deserves it. 5 touchdowns in a marquee game against an elite defense. You can't change your tune now just because we happen to embarrass them. You take that same energy about Texas's defense you did coming in and say, Gunner, dice them up. The 2 touchdowns from Noah Thomas early, we talked about that in the preview. Zachariah Branch was going to be a weapon. They were going to have to account for Noah Thomas. They struggled to do that. He had the rushing touchdown to ice the game, a beautiful throw to London Humphreys. I mean, he was all over the place. 24 of 29, 229 yards, 1 interception on the day. Just a great percentage completion. Him and Bobo are a match made in heaven right now. And I've talked about the Russell Wilson aspect of Gunner. He's doing it right now, guys. This is an elite performance. And if he was a starter, a first-year starter at any other program in the nation, he'd be getting considered for the Heisman. But because Georgia's a talented team, they want to take that away from him. I'm not doing it anymore. I've seen enough. Gunner is the real deal. So I'm happy to see him, show out. Whether he gets the national recognition or not, I could care less.
I love the Russell Wilson comparison that you make, and I see where your head's at there. When I'm watching his film, what my brain just reacts to is actually more like a Jalen Hurts. The way he can be so efficient and the way he's just a proven leader, a baller. You look at his high school tape, you can detract and make criticisms, but if you make all these nitpicky criticisms and don't see how he's got the intangibles of leading his team, making plays when he needs to, having the competitive mental edge to execute, these are type of things you just really can't coach. And Gunner's got it not only in his DNA with the name Gunner, with the war hero, grandpa, all these type of things, but the personality, and he's got enough athletic intangibles for sure, the physical side of it, to be respected more. But I think people just get so caught up in these really correlative to an elite quarterback, but they're not necessarily what make a winner. Ultimately, that's what you want, is a winner and someone who can be efficient and have the mental ability to bring all the physical traits together. So yeah, Gunner needs his respect. And on the defensive side, who did you see really make an impression that stuck out to you, Cheeto?
As far as defense goes, Zayden Walker was a guy who has not had a bunch of opportunities, but when he got an opportunity, he flashed. And a lot of people are going to take notice of that name really soon. Also, DeMelo Jones. His coverage skills have picked up considerably. He's also very physical when it comes to the run game out here, suplexing guys. And, as far as Zayden's go, we do have a Jaden Wade who also committed, class of 28. So another plus for Mike Bobo. He's starting to do it on the field. He's been doing it off the field. But what we're seeing, what the recruits are seeing, is obviously working, because the number one quarterback in class of 2028 decided to commit shortly after this big win over Texas. Gotta love it. Love to see it.
Yeah, and a lot of these moments where we've fallen short, Georgia's had an elite, great team, but the other team we lose to has this generational quarterback. So if we can have top one quarterbacks in our roster like that, we are dangerous. But yeah, dude, 15 first downs for Texas, only 23 rushing yards, and 2 of 12 on third down. That is our defense stepping up at an elite level. You love to see it. Cheeto, it's been a great Monday Scary early morning rendition of this episode. Thank you guys for listening. Definitely check us out on our socials, Dogs Off the Leash. Catch up with our writings online. We do previews, recaps, and other fun things. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So go Dogs. Big win over Texas, and looking forward to Charlotte. Take care of yourselves. Hey, we'll enjoy this moment, soak in the win, and look forward to seeing you guys next time. So y'all have a good one. Take care.
Talking about sports, talking about ball, talking about the weekend. Well, how about them dogs? Pull out your brunch now, butter your biscuit. It's the Sunday Scary Show. You don't want to miss it.